Good morning, Seabrook, New Hampshire. For all of you that aren't aware, that are just joining me, you probably ought to know about the Brook and how fucking crooked and corrupt, as well as nasty motherfuckers that they can be. And they are. Isn't that right, Seabrook PD? All right, so we're going to start with Greenland PD and my husband, William Asher, as well as his buddy from Greenland PD. Who? Michael Drake. I've already filed lawsuit against it. Look it up in Concord, New Hampshire, Federal District Court. All right? So when I filed against the Attorney General, Seabrook PD, Greenland PD, Rockingham County, let me tell you something. It started with my husband, William Asher, without a doubt, conspired with Greenland PD, who got his buddies involved, Portsmouth, Stratham, Seabrook, and everybody in between and all around. You see? Okay. So it ends up being that my case where Michael Drake in Greenland had arrested me, claimed I had a warrant, claimed that I had marijuana in my car. Well, it ends up being that he planted the marijuana and the case was dismissed. How about that, William Asher? So after I had been arrested and held and violated at Brentwood Jail, I went without water. I went without food. I was put into a cell after 11 o'clock. So I had been there for first shift, second shift, third shift. They take me out of a cell, swap me with a girl. I want to know, who are you that was in Brentwood Jail April 7th and April 8th of 2024. It was a Sunday and a Monday. It was during totality. So the night before totality, I was put from a holding cell into another holding cell that I had this plastic fucking boat, they call it, and I requested a warmer blanket because I've got Lyme's disease. And mind you, I had just been at the hospital suffering from cardiac distress that was brought on by hypothermia and anxiety, being harassed, terrorized, and taunted by Michael Drake and his buddies. Michael Drake claimed that he seen me smoking something and drinking something. The EMT or paramedic, whatever the fuck you were and who you are, is a fucking liar, you little son of a bitch. And you said I had track marks on my leg. I've never done fucking needles. I don't do pills. I've never done pills willingly. I don't do fentanyl. I don't do anything but smoke weed. So therefore, fuck you, you little motherfucker. You remind me of Pee Wee Herman, and prison you shall be. So, it goes along with Stratford County and again, Rockingham County. So, when I get out of jail, I had no place to go. And mind you, I was released by the judge, PR'd before noontime, and they wouldn't allow me outside those doors until 5 p.m. And at 5 p.m., when they let me out, there was a taxi guy out there. So I'm going to find out who that taxi cab driver was too, because he said that he got there at 4:30 and they didn't let me out until 5 o'clock. I had no place to go because they had my vehicle, they had my purse, they had my cell phone, and the SPCA in Stratham had my cat. Papa doesn't like people, so please don't park up near me. Don't come by me because my cat doesn't fucking like you. Anyhow, on with it. When I woke up the next morning, I walked up to the Greenland PD and I told the administrating staff first at the town office, I'm here. We're either going to talk and come up with a solution and a conclusion and a public apology, or I'll lawsuit you. Well, she contacted Tara Tucker. Mind you, Tara Tucker is or was married to a former Seabrook PD officer who was let go of his duties because apparently he was abusive to an inmate. Okay? So, all right. So I talked to Tara Tucker. She assaulted me under the table by her foot when she kicked me. Nobody did anything about that. She also holds a black book that she took all kinds of notes about William Asher, and this was April 10th, 2024, and about my daughter who was missing, and about Kayla Wright being shot dead in the head, and about Jeffrey Noyce, who was the ex-chief of police, in Island Pond that was involved in sex trafficking. My children were taken from me and placed in the hands of sex traffickers. That's right. And if you can see that the ACLU, the state of Vermont, has picked up on things that I've been telling you, and they filed their own lawsuits on behalf of the girls that it was happening to. Mind you, Jody Messina, the country singer's father, he is a principal up there in North Country, okay? He knew all about what was going on. So was he involved, as well as Jody's brother? Jody's brother, John, is a judge, isn't he, in New York, right across the border, okay? And the FBI, Christopher Wray, you're listed, that's right, along with the sheriffs in the lawsuit, and you're already aware of that, because you hid the information on the sex trafficking. You didn't tell anybody, and you didn't make any investigation, report, or arrest. That means the perpetrators, like the ones on 109 Railroad Street and around it, Island Pond, Vermont, all right? And the hospitals are just as involved, okay? They get involved by drugging the people, like the mothers that they take the children from. No. You better back up here. They didn't have that chance with me. You don't fucking violate me. And they all know that. So they stay far away from me. They talk shit, but birds of a feather flock together, okay? And I'm here telling you, straight to fuck up, that I'm taking on every single one of you in the courtroom. Any one of you that violated me or violated my children, locked my daughter up in different facilities and hospitals. Hospitals refused her medical attention. Facilities drugged her. I've got the medical records from Brattleboro, Rutland, North Country Hospital, Maine, that would be Portland, Augusta, Lewiston. Come on now, Dover Foxcroft, Pittsfield. Believe me when I tell you, those are the hospitals that violated my daughter just in this area. And then you've got Exeter, New Hampshire. Yeah. So we're not done. Do you understand what I'm saying, Seabrook PD? Not only did you make sure that nobody helped me when I was stranded in the parking lot for 3 fucking weeks, but you sure did make sure that Pat's Auto Repair got away with taking my vehicle. My recognizance, mind you, I asked him to come get my vehicle, give me a diagnosis. So it was a tie between the diagnosis and the tow, and they didn't have a diagnosis. When I went to pay for the vehicle, it was gone. Seabrook PD didn't do anything about it. They told me my vehicle was still there. So where is my Ford Explorer? Can you tell me that, Pat? At Pat's Auto Repair and Towing in Seabrook? Because I've got the paperwork of lawsuit right here that goes in the mail today. Seabrook PD, you've already been lawsuited. So again, where's my vehicle? And lo and fucking behold, the day before New Year's Eve of 2024, who took my trailer? So again, you all motherfuckers want to call me homeless? I'm not homeless. I have land and a place to be up in Maine. But because you violated me, I made it to November, which led to now it's winter. What do I do in the winter? Not much. So I didn't want to be bored. I might as well file paperwork. Got plenty of it to do anyway. And take up residency in New Hampshire. So I got a job. I work for tips. Not your $2 tips, Dave Tilton, but I work for tips. And then I tell my story. And I get more tips. I tip you and you tip me. I tip you on how to get justice. You were violated by police and politicians. File lawsuits. I did. Some of them were dismissed, that's right, but not all of them. Some of them were dismissed, but I requested for them to be reopened. Because if Christopher Wray, the former FBI director, would have done his job, and if Brian Driscoll does his job, then the judges will be sanctioned because my cases were frivolously dismissed, all due to my husband, William Asher, and the police as well as the politicians and some other fire fucking men or whatever they want to consider themselves. I don't know how they consider themselves, but sociopathic fucking disastrous firefighters and EMTs as well as police. Right there, Anson, Maine, Skowhegan, Madison, throughout, okay? And straight down to Florida. Mind you, my daughter was missing. Kayla had just been shot in the head. I told about my husband, William Asher, being an imposter and a scam artist working for the system, the government, I tell you. Friends with Michael Drake. The officer that told me, don't go very far, Kim, they'll impound your vehicle. Why would they impound it? It was legal. Excuse me. The reason why they took it was because I had called for it to be towed and diagnosed. The car died out without reason. It had been running just fine. I got it from a government official. And well, lo and behold, it was stolen by government officials. Isn't that the truth, Seabrook PD? So again, why don't you tell the community what you really did to me? Why don't you tell everybody why my camper got stolen, moved behind a building, the lights on the back were taken off, the window was broken, and the door went missing? Imagine that, okay? And then it, lo and behold, seemingly appears somewhere in Hampton Beach at Dave's Towing. So can anybody tell me why Seabrook Police Department, the county of Rockingham, the town of Seabrook, and everybody in between and around that's involved and knows about this shouldn't be lawsuited? Why shouldn't they be in prison? Theft by deception, Joe Hamilton, right? Harassment, Dave Tilton, and Seabrook PD, Hampton PD. We're not going to forget about you, Neil Casale, okay? And we already know that the chief of police resigned. So mind you, again, Neil Casale, he joined forces with all of them that were involved in harassing me for William Asher, allegedly. And, well, there you go. There's the answer on Hampton PD being involved in a lawsuit. If you got more questions, come to me. Don't talk shit about me, because you could be next on the paperwork.